What if I told you that one of the foods you've been told is perfect for longevity might secretly be the reason you feel bloated, heavy, tired, and inflamed, especially after 50? And here's the twist. The problem isn't the food itself. It's how you're preparing it. I know that sounds unfair. You're trying to eat healthy. You're replacing meat with plants. You're cooking more at home. You're doing all the right things. But you still wake up puffy. Your stomach feels tight. Your energy crashes in the afternoon. You think, is this just aging? Maybe not. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'm going to show you 5 common mistakes people make with lentils. Yes, lentils that can quietly damage your digestion, block mineral absorption, increase inflammation, and even keep you anemic. And then I'll show you exactly how to fix them so lentils actually help you feel lighter, clearer, and stronger. First, let's be honest about something that nobody tells you after 50. Your body doesn't respond the way it used to. You already noticed it. Certain foods that never used to bother you now leave you swollen. You feel full for hours from a small plate. You get gassy from things that are supposed to be light. That is not you being weak. That is your biology changing. As we age, digestion slows, enzyme production goes down, the gut lining becomes more sensitive, and the immune system reacts faster to irritation. So a meal that was perfectly fine at 30 can suddenly trigger inflammation at 60. That's not you doing something wrong. That's your body asking you to adjust. Now here's where lentils come in. On paper, lentils are fantastic. High in protein, high in fiber, full of minerals like iron and magnesium. Cheap, versatile, plant-based. Doctors, nutritionists, and health blogs all praise them. They call lentils a superfood, and they're not wrong. Lentils can be an incredible ally for your heart, your blood sugar, your weight, even your longevity. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Lentils can also make you bloated, block nutrient absorption, trigger gut irritation, and leave you exhausted if you prepare them the wrong way. The goal today is not to scare you away from lentils. The goal is to teach you how to get the medicine out of them without the side effects. Let's get into the 5 biggest mistakes, starting with the one almost everyone ignores. Mistake number 1, not soaking lentils long enough before cooking. Most people rinse lentils under the faucet for 10 seconds and call it a day. That is not soaking. That is washing dust. Soaking means letting lentils sit in water for at least 8 hours, ideally overnight, and changing that water at least once. Why does this matter? Because lentils, like most legumes and seeds, contain natural compounds called antinutrients, especially phytic acid and lectins. These antinutrients do 2 things you do not want. They irritate the gut lining, and they block the absorption of minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium. Translation: you could be eating what you think is an iron-rich meal, and your body may still not be getting that iron. So you're tired, cold, lightheaded, and you start worrying about anemia while believing you're eating healthy. Soaking helps break those compounds down. It makes lentils easier to digest, gentler on your stomach, and more nutritionally available. Bonus tip: adding a splash of apple cider vinegar or lemon juice to the soaking water helps even more, because a slightly acidic environment lowers those anti-nutrients faster. This alone can be the difference between lentils make me feel awful and lentils make me feel amazing. Let me ask you something directly. Do you soak your lentils? Really soak them? Or do you throw them straight into the pot because that's how we've always done it? Be honest, because this is one of the biggest reasons people over 50 complain about gas, pressure, or that heavy balloon feeling after eating legumes. Your digestive system after 50 is less forgiving. Get help. Mistake number 2, cooking lentils either too much or not enough. And yes, both are a problem. Most people think cooking is just about taste, soft versus firm. But the way you cook lentils changes how your body experiences that meal. If you undercook lentils, you pull them off the heat while they're still a little firm in the center because you don't want to overdo it. You're forcing your gut to do work your stove should have done. That means more gas, more cramping, more fermentation in the intestines, and sometimes that slow, dragging pressure that lasts all afternoon. On the other hand, if you overcook lentils into a mushy paste, you destroy some of the delicate nutrients, especially certain B vitamins, and you take away the gentle structure of the food. What does that mean for you? You get less nutrition, less fiber performance, and more of a starchy, dull mass that hits you like glue instead of fuel. The sweet spot is this, soft but still whole. You should be able to bite through the lentil easily with no hard center, but it should still hold its shape instead of collapsing instantly into puree. That texture means easier digestion, better absorption, less strain. Here's something else almost nobody tells you. Different lentils need different cooking times. Brown lentils and green lentils usually need around 25 to 30 minutes after soaking. Red lentils cook faster, often 15 to 20 minutes. If you don't pay attention, you'll either undercook or destroy them without even realizing it. And please don't just throw them in a pressure cooker and walk away until they're basically soup. If every lentil on your plate looks like baby food, you went too far. Mistake number 3, pairing lentils with inflammatory ingredients. And this one might hurt a little because it's cultural, it's traditional, and it's delicious. A lot of people cook lentils with sausage, bacon, pancetta, chorizo, processed meats, or they fry everything first in cheap refined oil. Flavor? Incredible. Impact on your body after 50? Brutal. Here's why. Lentils on their own are mostly anti-inflammatory. They're high in fiber that feeds good gut bacteria, they help stabilize blood sugar, and they support heart health. But when you combine them with heavily processed meats full of preservatives, oxidized fats, and additives, you create inflammation. Not the kind of inflammation you can feel like a burn. I'm talking about silent inflammation in the gut lining, in the blood vessels, in the immune system. That silent inflammation shows up later as my joints are stiff, I'm always swollen, my stomach is always irritated, my energy is always low, I feel older than my age. So the meal that was supposed to heal you is now quietly aging you. So what's the alternative? Flavor doesn't have to come from processed meat. You can get unbelievable depth using anti-inflammatory seasonings. Garlic, turmeric, cumin, paprika, bay leaf, ginger, black pepper, fresh herbs, tomato, onion, celery, carrot, bell pepper. And here's a trick. Finish your lentils with a drizzle of good extra virgin olive oil at the end, not at the start. When you cook olive oil at high heat too long, you lose some of its benefits. But adding it at the end preserves those antioxidants and gives you the richness you want without the inflammatory hit. This single switch from bacon to spices can literally change how your body reacts to that same bowl. Let me ask you a hard question. Are you turning a healing food into a burden for your body just because that's the way we've always made it in this house? Tradition is beautiful, but so is waking up without pain. Mistake number 4, eating lentils every single day and calling that healthy. I know this sounds confusing. You've probably heard, plant protein is good. Lentils are plant protein, so I'll just eat lentils constantly. It makes sense on paper, but your body doesn't run on paper. It runs on diversity. When you eat the exact same food every day, even if it's a good food, you risk 2 things. First, you overload your gut with the same types of fibers and compounds over and over, which can create bloating, fermentation, discomfort, even mild irritation of the gut wall. Second, you miss other nutrients. Lentils are great, but they are not everything. They are not the only source of minerals. They are not the only source of amino acids. They are not the only source of beneficial fibers. When you rotate lentils with chickpeas, black beans, split peas, quinoa, tofu, vegetables of different colors, leafy greens, seeds, whole grains, you feed different gut bacteria, you send different vitamins and minerals to your cells, and you keep the system flexible. Flexibility is youth. Rigidity is aging. After 50, you want flexible biology. So instead of lentils every day, think lentils 3 to 4 times per week, surrounded by other whole, simple, unprocessed foods. Your gut will calm down. Your energy will even out. And you'll notice something interesting. You'll start to feel satisfied again from normal portions. When the body gets what it needs, it stops screaming for more. Now, we get to mistake number 5, and this one is huge. Most people have never even heard it. Not pairing lentils with vitamin C. This is the part that can change your energy in a way you can feel. Lentils contain iron, but it's a form called non-heme iron, which the body doesn't absorb very efficiently. especially as you get older. Especially if you're a woman who's had a history of low iron, you cannot afford to play games with absorption. Here's the problem. You can eat an iron-rich lentil stew and still walk around exhausted, pale, foggy, and chilled because that iron never actually made it into your bloodstream. Now here's the fix: vitamin C. When you eat plant-based iron together with a source of vitamin C, that vitamin C literally helps unlock the iron and pull it into the body. That means the same bowl of food can go from not doing much to this actually gives me energy. And so easy. Add a squeeze of lemon on top before serving. Add fresh parsley. Add red bell pepper. Have some kiwi or berries or orange slices with the meal. You do not need a supplement to do this. You just need that acidic, fresh, vitamin C-rich element touching the meal. This is especially important if you're always feeling low energy, but your diet is technically good. Sometimes the problem is not what you eat. It's what you absorb. Let's pause here because this is where people either change their life or go back to, oh well, that's just aging. Which one are you going to choose? You already know the pattern. You wake up tired. You feel heavy after meals that are supposed to be light. Your stomach gets swollen and tight in the evening. You're eating healthy, but you're not seeing the benefit. That is not normal. That is not just because I'm 55. That is feedback. Your body is telling you, I still want to help you. I just need you to stop making me work against myself. Let's recap the 5 fixes in plain language so you can start today. Soak your lentils 8 to 12 hours and change the water. Add a splash of lemon or apple cider vinegar. This reduces anti-nutrients, improves digestion, and frees up minerals. Cook them to the right point, soft but still whole. Not undercooked, gas, not destroyed, nutrient loss. Taste as you go. Stop combining them with processed meats and cheap oils. Switch to spices, herbs, vegetables, and finish with good olive oil. Turn your meal into anti-inflammatory support, not silent inflammation. Don't obsess over one food. Rotate. Your gut wants variety, not repetition. Always bring vitamin C to the plate. A squeeze of citrus or a raw, colorful vegetable can triple how much iron you actually absorb. Here's the most important thing I want you to take away. After 50, health stops being about eat less, move more. It becomes absorb better, inflame menos, digest easier, stay energized. You don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to live on pills. You don't need expensive miracle powders. You need to understand the rules your body is playing by now and respect them. That's how you protect your gut, your energy, your mood, your independence. So tell me this, which of these mistakes sounds most like you? Not soaking, cooking too fast, adding sausage for flavor, eating lentils every single day because someone told you they're pure health, or skipping the vitamin C because you never knew it mattered. Say it out loud. Name it, because the moment you see it, you could change it. And when you change it, you're going to feel it. Not in 5 years, in days. If this message hit you a little good, that means your body is asking to be heard. And if you want more real talk like this, practical, science-backed, respectful of your age, respectful of your effort, then keep going. Like this. Share it with someone who eats healthy but still feels inflamed. And tell me, do you want me to break down other foods that seem healthy but might be quietly working against you depending on how you prepare them? Because the truth is, lentils are not the only ones.